This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking about edging. Edging is when you masturbate but you choose to not ejaculate at the end. Why would people be practicing edging at all? The reason why is because some guys like us are on Nofap or semen retention journey, and we are trying to get rid of the habit of that together with porn. But for some reason, it's just really nice sometimes to comfort yourself or to be there for yourself and edge a little bit. Now, I'm gonna use this video as a clarification of this entire process. If it's good for you, if it's bad for you, why should you do it, should you not do it? And I've noticed that my most popular video on my entire channel, and those of you who've been around for a while know that I talk about a lot of different things when it comes to success and masculinity and semen retention and all that stuff, but the most popular video is about edging. Like, what's up with that? So what I wanted to say about it is basically don't do it. In 99% of the cases, simply stay away from it. The one thing we desire is emotional consistency. Why do we want emotional consistency? It's because it's about masculinity. Masculinity is emotional stability. Why? Because the opposite, what women tend to do and feminine men do, is to be emotionally unstable. That is not becoming of a man. Men are there to protect and to provide, and the best way to do that is to be emotionally stable. The reason why is because if you're emotionally stable, you can be consistent. Consistency is key, always. Remember that. If you can be consistent, you will achieve everything in life that you desire. Because then it's just to figure out what is the most important thing that I need to do every single day that will exponentially grow everything in any different category. For example, if I want to become amazing in sales, then consistency needs to be in making daily phone calls or daily visitations or knocking on doors until I become good at sales. I've got to do it daily because I'm going to fail so much that I'll be passionate about improving the circumstance and passionate about improving the environment so that I can succeed in that thing. If I want to become a professional boxer, then I need to be consistent about being in the ring, beating up someone, right? And getting a beating. If you're consistent in doing that and being more consistent than your opponents, you will get an exponential growth curve and eventually you'll win everything. Consistency is key when it comes to masculinity. So if we know that, let's talk about edging. First of all, every single person that has had an addiction with PMO, porn, masturbation, and orgasm, all those guys have a continual hyperdrive semen production in their body. Hyperdrive. And I'm now talking about being too big of a production going on in your bodies. The more production you've got in your body, it's not necessarily wrong. It's not bad, and I'll explain this at the end. What's bad is the inconsistency. You're in hyperproduction, and then you release. And then you deplete yourself of sexual energy. And then your body is going to massively produce semen again in order for you to have the opportunity of release eventually. So you become sexual again, but hypersexual, and then you ejaculate and it goes down again. Emotional instability. You don't want that, and it's not necessary, and it's not how our bodies were built to be. Our bodies were meant to regulate themselves. And what you're doing right now is you're regulating your body to be emotionally needy, to be emotionally desperate, to be emotionally all over the place. That's not necessary, and you won't be consistent when you do that. This is why Nofap and semen retention is such an amazing journey for all of those that actually manage to get past 30 days. Why 30 days? Because the first 30 days, your body is going through a self-regulating phase of overcoming that hyperdrive that you've been having for all these years. Years! When your sperm production has been on, trying to get release. But now you're practicing self-discipline. Now you're practicing self-control. Now you're basically telling your body who's in control, and it's you, your mind. Once you begin to develop self-control and discipline, your body is going to be jolted in place. It's gonna be like, bam! Suddenly, it's gonna hit a brick wall. And it's your brick wall of self-control and self-discipline. That discipline is important. And you'll experience the ups and downs of emotional instability of you being feminine over those first 30 days of that journey. And then you move on to a flatlining experience. Now, after those 30 days, your semen production will lower, meaning you're not going to have the ups and downs anymore and all over the place, but it's going to decrease. Very often people think that, they're going to feel fantastic and they're going to be able to have superpowers and they're going to be doing that and the other. No. During those first 30 days, you have the emotional instability. Between 30 days and 90 days, however, that is when your body is normalizing your production so that you're not needy, so that you're not all over the place, so that you're not desperate. So your semen production levels will drastically decrease to the level where your body is supposed to be working at. So you'll experience maybe a small depression, maybe non-motivation, maybe it's just you just don't feel like yourself. Your dopamine levels are normalizing. These are the pleasure centers, man. You want your pleasure centers to work at their optimal best rate. If your pleasure centers are working optimally, bro, everything in life tastes better. Okay, you'll be able to go out on the street and women who maybe weren't that attractive before will be more attractive. That's a positive thing. And those that are attractive, they'll be even more attractive. And that will fill you with joy and happiness. And since you've got self-control, you're going to be able to control yourself when you're around them. You're going to breathe better out in nature. And when you breathe, you're going to be like, it just feels good, man. It helps your overall happiness in your life is just going to be so much better. Even food tastes better. Everything that has to do with pleasure in your life will improve. So what does edging have to do with everything that I've just spoken about? Edging increases the sperm production unnecessarily. So basically, let's say, for example, you manage somehow to get past the 30 days. If you edge between 30 and 90 days, it's basically as if you started from scratch again because your body is now beginning to produce more. It's like, okay, well, we need to produce now and because he needs to release. And then you basically choose not to release and your body is now hitting the brick wall again. So you begin to get more uncomfortabilities down there. It's like there's no room for the congestion. And then you'll be more horny during those days after that, which will make it so more probable that you edge again, and then you edge again, and then it's going to be really hard to control yourself to not watch porn, and it's going to be really hard to control yourself in basically every single aspect of your life until you relapse completely with an ejaculation. Wasn't necessary, and it came about because of the edging. Don't edge, man, because you're increasing the hyperdrive and just making yourself a sex addict, basically. Don't do that. What you want to get to is no edging, no touching yourself other than showers and adjusting or whatever. You know the drill. Just don't touch yourself romantically. Oh my gosh. What you want is consistency. And consistency only comes when your body can do its own thing in the background naturally without you having to think about it. What's awesome about sperm production is that it's automatic, man. And it's consistent. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to adjust anything. Ever. It does it all on its own nature. And we should appreciate that. But what's the end goal? What's the end goal of semen retention? It's to get to the point where your sexual desire has continuously increased at the same time as your self-control and self-discipline has increased. Which means that eventually you'll come back to the same stage of desire that you've had in the past when you did not practice semen retention. However, your kidneys are working at their optimal rate. All of your other organs are working at their optimal rate. Your health is fantastic. And you've got your pleasure centers working at their optimal rate as well. Eventually, you get to the top of hunger and of desire. And this is the time when you become most successful. It will light in your eyes, man. The energy that you have, the sexual intensity will be felt in your handshakes, okay? I remember when I was at my top, man, when I was like 19, 20, 21 years old, and I basically ejaculated like twice in those 2 years there. I remember when I would shake someone's hand, I'd be like, yeah, man, seriously. Like, I'd be so fired up outside my brain, and people could feel that there was something different about me because I was so fired up about life. I still am fired up about life, man, but I haven't gone like a year without ejaculation. I'm married, okay? So accidents happen once in a while. But you understand the drill though. You want to get to intense desire and being horny all of the time. Being horny is absolutely fantastic. It's great. And you want that. But you don't want to be massively horny and then not horny at all. And then massively horny and then not horny at all. You want to be horny, 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 horny. But then channel that horniness because of self-control and self-discipline. You contain it. But it is being expressed out of you anyway, but in a positive manner, without any desperation, without any neediness, and with complete stability. It's simply you. You are like that. This is what Napoleon Hill speaks about in Think and Grow Rich, chapter 11. Being a highly sexed individual is a blessing, not a curse. And what's beautiful is that you can actually become a highly sexed individual by choice, by following the principles that we teach on this channel. Edging, however, is completely unnecessary. The only times, the 1% of times that you would ever practice edging and it would actually bring positive things for you, that's in the other video, which is called Consequences of Edging. Watch it again if you want to, but really the core principles is right here, right now in this video of just don't touch yourself and let the body regulate itself. You'll thank me after you've gone a complete 90 days where your body has completely regulated yourself. You've rebooted your brain from porn and masturbation, and now you're able to move in the direction of your dreams and goals while at the same time becoming a highly sexed individual. That will attract your goals even faster. Make sure you like the video, subscribe guys, I need those likes, and I'll see you in the next video.